Hello YouTubers, welcome back to another Doctor by 10 YouTube video, and today welcome to another episode of the 10th Doctor's TARDIS Build Diary, episode 13 now. As you can tell, there's something weird on top of the TARDIS, because I got a little bit too bored. Now, it's not 100% straight at the minute, it looks weird. But it's going to be straightened out at some point in the near future. But for now, this is only done as a test, basically. And it is easily removable. So, yeah. So, I'm going to show you what the TARDIS can now do. Yes, you've heard that. And you can see wires leading up to it as well. And there's like something poking out through the top with wings coming out of it. That's to help the thing stay up in place. What that is a plant pot covered in masking tape, ready for paint, when I can get the paint, of course. When you stand over here, it looks a bit crooked onto one side. I've only tacked it on for a little bit. Well, it is actually stuck on, but I will re-glue it at some point, so it's going to be nice and straight. So I'm going to give you a back view now. So, yeah, that's what it is. It looks a bit crooked because it's the weight isn't really the same at the minute, because there's a motor in there for the mechanism. So as you can see, it's not 100% straight on the top. That's something I'm going to work out later on in the project. But for now, the TARDIS has more functionality, such as not just the basic light, but it also has a working timerotor, which isn't silent. So yeah, basically Josh has helped me design a mechanism so it'll just go up like that. The rotor arm metal's going to go up and down like on the TARDIS, but where it goes in the base, where it goes up and down, instead it goes that way. I took this off and just put like a little thing on. Stuck these on the side. In fact, I'll give you a top view of the console if I don't swivel off this chair because it's a bit loose. But yeah, you can see inside there. I found the Connect motor again. It was in the loft where I thought I put it. So yeah, basically there's a string attached to the arm there. It's all been hot glued as well, so I can't really reuse it. But basically this isn't really straight because of the motors on one side, and it's making it a little bit uneven. But if I put some on the top or something to give it some extra weight, it should be alright. Like, look at that. The timerotor has to be on a specific way, so I'm going to have to mark that up somehow. And of course, on the console, you do get the wiring dangling down and stuff, which is a little bit annoying because I like to have a cleaner look TARDIS, but you know, that's just me. But because this is a 10th Doctor's TARDIS console project I'm doing, of course, it's going to be covered in wires at some point in the near future, like it is over here. So basically, this is all what works this, and that's been glued down for, well, tacked down just for temporary, so I can actually use the lever without it, you know, coming off. So yeah, now I can obviously function the timerotor without any means of turning the console on. So yeah, now for the power, I was using this, but it just kept draining really fast, so I scrapped that idea. So underneath you see is a USB connector. I've got, yeah, so it's all been put onto a USB connector onto the charger, which gives it enough power, not too much, but enough for it to do what I need it to do. And you can tell with the lights fade in, fade out, which is unintentional, but I quite like the idea. And then when it's static, now it's staying green because I had that light on. But yeah, that's basically what you see. It looks straight at the top from this point of view, which is really good. But when you look towards the door, I'm going to turn this on because it's going to go blue again. It looks a bit off. So I'm thinking it's just a little bit uneven weight on the top. But other than that, it's really good. So that's going to be painted. That's got to be painted. That's got to be painted. This is only hot glued on as well. And this pipe, I've actually did it as an extra support for this because otherwise the timerotor is going to be too heavy for it. So yeah, so I've literally got to be careful, or I can just cover this with masking tape or just brush it on. Well, I will be brushing it on anyway, so I'll just be careful when brushing it on, and then whatever needs stacking up in black, I can do that. So I'm not worried about that too much yet. Of course, this will be painted, so everything that's covered in masking tape will be painted over. I've got to snip that off. But yeah, there's that's from an old tripod I had. I took the metal pipe that was going to be for the covering for this, but I'm going to find something else for it. So yeah, got a piece of string in there, and it's connected to this old tube in the middle, which is from an old broken knockoff lightsaber. I've got another one. And these are what come off plastic tubs and round tubs. Just put holes in them, just to give it that, that detail. It carries a light up, so you can definitely tell that there is light in the rotor as well. But yeah, my TARDIS has functionality. I did not really think I could do this, to be honest. This was a really, really painstaking thing to do. And when I was on the phone with Josh, I was like, I want to be able to make it do that, And I said, how do you get your mechanism? So he showed me, and he helped me build it. I'm also on call. Because he's all the way in Coventry and I'm in Hull, so, So, he designed it, and I've basically used that design, but I've, took bits off it so it'll work for inside the plant pot. So, yeah. Basically, it's using the same mechanism as Josh has just demonstrated to me, and I've just adapted it a little bit for it to work as I want it to. It was a pain in the neck. I didn't think I'd get this, to be honest, because I remember earlier on in my first few episodes of the TARDIS console build project, I said I wanted to have a motorised time rotor. It's like a big achievement for me. Because knowing me, I'm very good at making things, work and stuff, like I have with that other console. So yeah, so I test the waters, and yeah, it looks a bit weird at the minute. I'm not quite used to it yet, but it basically has that similar thing on the top, apart from the piece of wood poking out from both sides. But that's to help the mechanism stay up, because I ain't got nowhere else to do it unless I pin it up to the ceiling. But I've got to be able to dismantle it and mobilise it a little bit, because if I need to move it into my room, then that's what I'll have to do. So yeah, it's a nice little replica of the TARDIS so far. I've been looking on images. I've got the bio.doctor send me some PDF files of the switchboard, and when I'm going to get some switches and put them on. So it's going to be printed, stuck on a piece of wood, drilled out, and I'm going to put switches and stuff on it and make that do stuff. I know there's green little switches that go down here. I don't think I'll be able to fit them on because of the mesh, but zip tie. That's my toolbox down there, got covered in stuff. So yeah, still got to get the TV hooked up yet. I've been thinking about the sound system as well. I've got a sound bar that I use for my old gaming cupboard that I have, but I replaced the sound system with a subwoofer and 2 speakers, and I've got this left, and it still works. I'm going to hotwire it into the TV like I have done with the last TV I had before that kind of got destroyed. But still, that's going to be hooked up in the same way, if that can turn on at least. I've got to buy an adapter for it to work on. So yeah, if it don't work, I'm going to have to replace the screen with something else and hotwire that into that. Because I want to be able to put the screensaver and the TARDIS hum. So yeah, now it'd be really cool if I could make the lever activate the demat sounds and the materializing sounds as well, but that's more engineering that I don't know. This is only basic stuff. Well, for me it is. I've got to mark the timerotor up to the position, so Yeah. Because otherwise, if I need to dismantle it again, I've got to know where to put it back on. It's a little bit tacky at the minute because there's no paint job on it at the minute, apart from like it's a bit loose. That I really don't like the timerotor being all loose, but it stays up in the centre. If I knock it back a little bit, it'll centre because it's on the conduit there. I've got a bit cut off for the rest of the gauge, so I can hook that to the back of the rear start. So yeah, and of course the Sonic charging port has functionality, but that's a thing I already had. But these have got to be painted. The whole console's got to be painted yet, and at the minute it just looks like someone just took a load of scrap wood into the back shed and just cobbled something together like in the first 5 minutes. It will look 10 times better when it's all painted. Got the crackles on. That tidied up a little bit better. There's a part of me that's just getting really frustrated with this because I'm getting a little bit agitated about it. Part of me's thinking, oh, it's really bugging me, but it's something I'm not used to yet. But when I look at the Bio Doctors, 3Dog Workshops and Josh's consoles, they look 10 times better than mine. They've got a better job than mine. But mine's only at the building stage. So yeah. So it's a waffle video, but we have timerotor movements, and my hair's a mess, like usual. Nothing new there. Anyway, so thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and of course subscribe. And check out my other social media platforms such as Instagram and TikTok. And I said YouTube again. So yeah, anyways, thank you for watching. See you soon. Any questions? Comments below if YouTube hasn't turned them off. I keep having to turn them back on, but yeah. Anyways, Aldi Alonso.